Graham here. Welcome to my first, I guess, dev blog or whatever this is. Really just wanted to go over a new feature that I put in and sort of my thought process of how to solve that problem with the movement system. I've basically reworked how movement works in Hexiv, but it's effectively the same thing, just the inputs are different and much improved, I think. And also just wanted to give a quick update about how things are going. So 6 weeks ago, I went to the game development conference in San Francisco. That was lots of fun. If you're watching this video and you met me there, hello. It was nice meeting you. It was great having my Steam Deck running Hexiv while I was there because I could just pull it out and show people what the game actually looks like. Not having to have, it has a long play time, so it's easier to just explain sort of the gameplay and show some of it in person rather than trying to have them sit down or something, right? That's too complicated. Anyhow, but it was good meeting lots of new people, getting feedback, lots positive. Had some local friends, developers who I respect, play the game and give me some feedback. There's lots of things from that. One of the things that has been an ongoing issue for quite a while has been part of the tutorialization of the movement system. And so here I'm going to show you what the deal with that is. So first of all, this is like the first turn of the game. You've picked an island. Now you're selecting your lander card to place to land. So we'll have a sound effect for this in later. Don't worry about that. So you have this unload step. This unload step solved an issue where the first turn of the game you might not draw your movement cards, and so you're stuck not being able to do anything because your crew are stuck in the lander. So I added this unload step. This was like a year ago, but so this is really crucial to the game. So how this works right now, this is the previous version of the game that I'm showing you. I'm going to switch over to the new one with a new change after that. But so first you select your crew member. So in this case, both of them are standing on the same tile because they're both on the lander. And so let's say we want to move Aranda. So we select the crew member and then you select where you're going to move to. So we're moving this person to the marsh, and then you select Said, and then you move him over here. Now this is fine. The issue with tutorial here is that the first time the player uses the movement system, it actually is a sort of unique scenario because of the unload thing. So normal movement cards, if I cheat here and this is a debug version. This isn't gonna work, is it? No, it's not. Anyways, next turn I'll show you. So let's move this guy out here. So now we're gonna draw our cards. So here's like a standard walk card. So in this case, we've got two crew members. We're gonna select one. We'll move him onto the ruins, for example. The issue with the unload step is there's no need to pick someone first because they're both on the same tile and the card has the name of the person on it. And so it's sort of a redundant thing. And I chose to tutorialize it by doing it that way, not having a unique like interaction where it's just a single click, because it would be weird to tutorialize a new only once used system, and then you'd have to then unlearn that thing to learn the next thing and never see that again. So anyways, this is my point of friction that I've solved with this new movement update. So this is how movement used to work. Didn't draw a movement card there, but we'll just move here. So yeah, you select your person and then you move. And then combat in this game in Hexiv is the same system as the movement. So if I want to attack this deer tile here, then you just click your person and then select the target, and then you'll deal damage to them. Anyhow, so let's go to the new version of the game. Okay, so here we are. This is with the new update. So we're in our lander step again. We're landing on the island somewhere, so let's just pick this spot here. And now with our unload step, instead of selecting a person, you now just click immediately. And I've got these new little arrows, which are great. And this solves so many issues. So now we can click here, and then we're going to load on Aranda, move her on this gas vent, and it's done. So now the movement is going to work exactly the same way. But now you have there's like a bunch of new consequences of this change, right? So now that our movement is single click instead of being click to select the person, then click to move. This works for most cases. So I'm going to move down here. This just works one click, right? Or maybe my moving Said over to this tile. This works, no problem. But I'm just going to grab some more walk cards here. But there's now some new edge cases, right? So let's say I want to move to this middle tile. Which person am I going to move? And so I solved this issue temporarily. The easiest scenario is by making the arrow show you based on which is the closest pixel distance. This is great, means you don't have to do any more clicking as a player. One of the things I love about this solution in general of moving to a single click is it also not only makes the tutorial easier, of like not necessarily the tutorial, but the understanding of the game mechanics easier, but it also makes experienced players be able to play the game faster with less clicks. So this is great. So this like works great where you can select based on which is closer, and because you have the arrow, you know you're not like making a mistake and clicking the wrong person accidentally, which is fantastic. So you're gonna move this person in. Now there are cards in Hexiv. Let's say this relocate card that can move more than one distance. So in this case, Saeed here can move 2, or Randy can move 2 tiles. This is move 2, right? Now, in this case, we've got some weird things going on. So let's say we want to move Aranda to this lander tile. With just hovering here, there's no way for us to actually do this. So instead now we can use our relocate card, and we can basically do the old system, which is you select the person first, and then now you can move. So we select our card, we select Saeed here, and then now we select where only Saeed is going to move. This allows us to move to a tile that is closer to Aranda but move Saeed in this case. You can also, use the character portraits up on the left and do that as well to select which person you want to move in case you're like confused as to where they are, or you want to be double sure. Whatever, all the selecting of tiles that have people on them work in that way. So yeah, so this is the new system. This moves, so now I can move over here, for example. And this is pretty much solved. And so now, like, I'm not totally in love with this new, so I have a little graphic of the movement for selecting the person. It's a slightly different animation. It's got like the orange there instead of the white. I'm sure I'll improve on this in the future, but this is like a temporary solution that made this easy. Part of what actually made this whole problem hard to solve was I wanted these arrows. So these are similar to, if I attack this bear here, he also has these arrows, and these are the new arrows as well, but the old system also had arrows telling the indication of what the AIs are going to do. So in this case, he attacked, and now he's got a movement card, so he's going to move to this tile. And this is all now using the same little arrow system. Because he drew a movement card, he's not moving because he's already adjacent to the target he's attacking. So, but this is making it clear, this is a movement, this is an attack, because it's got the red, it's kind of simple. But part of what made this whole solution challenging was actually implementing the arrow itself. So if I show you a little bit of the behind the scenes here in my Godot editor. So this is the arrow I have now. So I can actually like extend the size of this thing. It's like fully dynamic. So let's make it 100 again. And then we can change the rotation, and the like beveling of the arrow happens like in the shader. Because there's sort of infinite number of combinations of distances and angles that I could move to. So for example, if I go back to my game here, let's say we have a card called Teleport, which is a one-time use card you can get from the tech tree. You can move someone anywhere in the map. And so you've got these like super long arrows. So just basically, and also because the height of tiles is different than with the arrow to always point to the center, you really just have to have a dynamic solution here that's not like 8 directional arrows, for example. So this now just like works seamlessly. Yeah, and so if I go back to the editor here, then you can see I can like rotate this around at any angle, and the like beveling of the, or like the curving of the arrow sort of matches perfectly. And there's like a bunch of pain I had to do for this. I ended up using like a viewport capture. It's like a scene capture if you're in another engine, like an Unreal or something. So if I show the actual shader here, this is the underlying arrow before the scene capture render on top of it. So it's like, so I can show you that this is just using the view V's basically in the texture. So the actual arrow is just this picture. And then I like sample that picture from the right side to do the arrow part, and then the left side to do the knob in the end, and then the middle bit for like the arrow in between, and I like kind of bend it with a exponent value or whatever. So yeah, and then in the viewport, then I do another shader pass, and that's what allows me to pixelate it. And then now I can just drop a different customized instance of the material that has different shader parameters for the colors, and so I can easily set these colors. And this keeps the whole like thing being pixel perfect. Although you do get these weird cases where the pixel like cuts into the arrow funny. Like this is a good example where like if you were drawing this by hand, you would not have this weird little nub on the end that's like funny looking. But it's not bad. It's okay. It works. So anyhow, I'm hoping to have a build for y'all to play the game soon. If you're one of my testers, if you're not, you're welcome to hop on the Discord. We now have a Steam page, or I now have a Steam page. You can wishlist the game. There's a Discord link on there. We'll be doing a demo sort of playtest. I call them patch parties, where we have like a giveaway Discord badge for person who gets the highest score during the week of the new patch. So it's been far too long overdue, but apologize for that. So if you're excited to play again, feel free to let me know. But hoping to get that patch out. There's a few more things I want to take off. There's like a bunch of features I have that are complete or implemented, but there's like a few bugs, edge cases, or there's not quite. Like I have the new crew quest system, but not all of the crew quests. The passives. Sorry, not quests. The passives is a new system, and not like half of them are done, and a few of the crew members still need their crew passives, and so it basically makes those crew members super nerfed if you want to use them, and the game is balanced to have the crew passives. So should kind of finish those in to see what everyone thinks of those. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.